All right, guys, let's have a conversation about Jon Rahm. What an amazing golf swing. Jon Rahm is a young Spaniard. I see shades of Sergio Garcia in his swing. I wonder if Sergio's father's had any influence over Jon Rahm or even Sergio himself, because they both seem to be body swingers. But let's take a look at this swing from the down the line view. Rahm is noted for that short three-quarter backswing, but he does not lack distance. And boy, he really gets it out there. So let's take a look at this. I find it fascinating. He's got great balance, good hip depth. If we look here, you can see he's got his right hip nice and deep behind him. This is going to help him to stay counterbalanced through the swing. But look at this bow right here. This is what I refer to as the claw. And my teacher, Roger Dunn, told me when I started my swing evolution that you'll see good players have that right here. This is where he showed it to me. Now you can get there during the course of your swing like Ben Hogan, or you can preset it. That's what Dustin Johnson does. That's what Lee Trevino did. And Jon Rahm uses it very effectively by simply presetting the bow in his wrist. But look at how clear he is with his hips. Just fantastic. And then he really fires that right hand. That's a full release a la Sergio. It's interesting to me that you see that club kind of going under the plane of his hands. Under the plane that his hands are on as they go around his body. So his hands are going around, he throws and turns that driver head down, and we see this angle. This angle here is what I mean by the club head is underneath the plane of his hands. Very, very fascinating. I love the way he hits the golf ball, and he's apparently, I guess he's only 22 years old, so we're going to be seeing Jon Rahm for a long time. So this swing is incredible to me. Jon Rahm is the only person I believe to have won the Ben Hogan Award twice. He's an Arizona State alum, where Phil Mickelson went to. But I'll tell you, when I looked at this swing, I saw a lot of shades of Mr. Hogan right here. Look at the right knee drive, that angle that I always talk about. He's just got it going on right here. Lots of angle right there in that knee. And his hands are leading the ball so beautifully, but his head is nice and behind the ball. Just amazing. But this position right here, I'll tell you, if you guys can emulate that, then you're going to be in good shape. Now this is the thing. Check it out. So his right hand, he fires that right hand very late. If we look at the angle of his wrist right here, there's a ton of stored power right there. And he's not going to unleash that until past impact. He just starts to fire it through the impact zone. Now look at that great extension that comes from that. This is very Hogan-esque. This beautiful long line we see with his arm as he heads up to the top of his follow through. His stance is so wide. Look at this funky foot down here, and this foot's rolling over, but boy, he can pound it. And I also like this. Look at his front leg. You'll see he straightens out a little bit to get some power, but then he has the caddy dip where he puts a little more bend in that knee to help him keep his balance. Beautiful extension on that follow through. Just fantastic. We can see the wrinkles in his pant leg that he's gotten some bend back in that knee. Now, I mentioned Sergio at the beginning of this video, and I think it's very instructive if we were to look at the way both of them swing. But we can see that Jon Rahm has got a lot more hip depth than what Sergio has. Sergio is what I've described as a squat turner. he's going to squat as he turns into the backswing. But we'll watch both of them swing this first time, and then we'll slow it down. I don't know about you, but I see a lot of similarities in these two golf swings. Let's watch them take it back to the top. Now Sergio's on a much higher plane, and that's what's going to make that lag angle look so funky as they both float load into their transition. Now we can see that Sergio has a little bit more belt buckle right here than Jon Rahm. Jon is young enough that, well, actually, I mean, he doesn't turn his hips off the ball very much at all. And he's got his left shoulder under his chin, but this club is way, like, he's hardly getting the 3/4. He does not have a very long backswing. I've never believed that you need to have a very long backswing. And if you don't have a long backswing, then the club is never going to have a chance to be anything but laid off. So it doesn't really matter which way you choose to do it. There's great examples of golfers that came across the line. You can talk about Jack and Tom Watson and Bobby Jones. They came across the line a little bit, Sam Snead. And then there's great guys like Sergio and Rahm that kind of lay it off a little bit. Now, what I find really fascinating is the way they both float load into their transition. And this is what gives Sergio that massive lag angle. But you'll see that Sergio doesn't have the bow in the sense that Jon Rahm just holds the bow so he can save that right hand until the very last second at impact, like we showed from the front angle. See a lot of similarity here as they come into impact. Their hips are both super square. But what I find really fascinating is how they both fire the right hand full release over. And we see that club exiting on essentially the same plane as they come up to the top of their finish. Very, very fascinating swing. I think it's worth taking a look at Jon Rahm from this position one more time because this is just gold. All right, Jon. Well, best of luck in the FedEx Cup playoffs. You're a very fine golfer. I love your golf swing. And I hope that you play real well. And I hope you hit them long and hit them straight. Hey, guys. So let's cut to the chase. Here's my old golf swing. And here's my new golf swing. 5 years ago, I started a YouTube channel, and I wanted to improve my golf swing by using Ben Hogan's 5 lessons. Well, guess what? It worked. And along the way, I picked up over 8 million views on YouTube, and I learned how to shoot under par. Unbelievable, right? Well, the great news is I have a brand new instructional video called The Hogan Code. In this video, I break down everything that I learned over my long journey to learn to swing like Ben Hogan. And now you can learn the very same techniques that I used to become the golfer I always wanted to be.